What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. I am Mike,
I'm Duran.
and we just gonna jump right in. So before we forget, Duran,
Yo.
do you think it's important to talk about your past relationships with your new boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse?
Well, she said boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah. But with your spouse, conditional. The reason it's conditional is because you want to make sure that your spouse does not repeat the sins of the past, because it's going to trigger you and it's going to make you become someone that you don't want to be. Boyfriend and girlfriend, definitely. And you don't have to go full blown details. It's just you need to let them know that something has happened and this may or may not be a problem for me. And hopefully we don't ever get there, but I'm telling you so we can try to avoid X, Y, and Z. That's how I view that.
Hmm.
Now,
So do you do you believe they should be sharing information about every ex-boyfriend or girlfriend?
no, because that's just going to breed problems. Now, if you got a person that's just constantly bringing it up and saying this, that, and this, my past boyfriend didn't do this, he didn't do that, well, then I think that person is just not over the previous person. But if you doing it so you can try to avoid the mistakes of the past, I think that's a crucial step. That's more of an advanced step in a relationship. That's not something you're going to get when you very first start dating. That's something you get after a while.
So at what point should you bring that up?
Oh, if you're serious about this person, I would definitely try to bring it up before you get married, because those things are marriage enders sometimes. Because you feel like you're being compared to somebody else, you feel small, you feel blindsided, and you feel like this person that you have this compatibility with just dropped a bomb on you, and you kind of don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
Because it's an unknown factor. It's an unknown thing to you. It's not something that's carrying. And then you feel like, well, why are they thinking about X, Y, and Z? And it's like, it's not like that. It's just that I want to avoid this problems. And what we have here is so good. I just want to tell you so we don't get there.
I think this might be one of those few times we disagree. I don't think the past necessarily needs to be brought up in a new relationship. As far as like the boyfriends and the situations, if there's something that you don't like, you should be able to have an adult conversation and say, hey, I don't really like that. If you know it's because ex-boyfriend used to do that, that's, right? But
you expect them not to ask you why not?
I mean, you could say why not, but you need to be able to articulate why you don't like it.
So wouldn't you have to tell them if it's because of a previous relationship or a previous suitor that's the reason why you don't like X, Y, and Z?
Well, I think that's actually more childish on your part. Right? If I'm like, "Oh, I don't like apples because that's all my ex-girlfriend used to eat." That's kind of childish that I'm trying to tell you you can't eat an apple because that's all she did. Or, "Oh, I don't like this. I don't like going to this concert or listening to this artist because that's all my ex-girlfriend." That's kind of
That's different. That
childish,
is
right?
listed in the category of childishness. What I'm saying is, if we have an argument, don't point your fingers in my face because so and so pointed their fingers in my face and they got physical.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to go there.
It doesn't.
You can clearly say, "Hey, don't point your fingers in my face. I find that disrespectful. I don't like it." That's a way you could say it without having to bring up any past relationships, making any comparisons, because I feel like when you do that, you're making comparisons, and now this person that you're currently dating knows you're making these comparisons.
Is it a comparison or is it just me letting you know the source of where that came from?
I think it is a comparison, because if I put my finger in her face and she gets upset because her ex-boyfriend used to do this, then that's her comparing me what I'm currently doing to what he used to do, and you're comparing us in one way or another, right? And people are gonna compare to their exes at some point. You know, they may be like, "Oh man, you're so much better than what I'm used to," or this or that. But I think having that internal comparison and thinking it and voicing it are different. And I just don't think it needs to be voiced. And it has nothing to do with jealousy or pride or me being like self conscious or anything like that. I wouldn't bring up anything an ex did when me and my wife were dating. I wouldn't bring it up because it has nothing to do with my current relationship. And she didn't bring up hers.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but then that's not fair to people who got PTSD, because that's like saying, "Oh, you were remembering this particular horrific event because machine gun mowed down like 1,000 of your friends or comrades, and then you came home and you heard a helicopter, and it reminded you of it because it was the same sound as the gun that killed your friends." So that's not the same thing, because I'm not gonna compare a helicopter to a machine gun, but it sounds the same because it's bringing up a traumatic event. So it's not that you throwing that this person did this thing. It's just a relevant type thing. You don't have to say it every time. It's different if you keep trolling with it. But if I say it once and we talking, it'll help you be more sympathetic to not doing that particular thing that's occurring that I'm asking you.
But what I'm saying is find the root of what the problem truly is, right? If me putting my finger in your face reminds you of him, why does it what was it about him doing that upset you? Well, it's because it was disrespectful, right? So the root cause isn't that he did it, is that it's a disrespectful motion. If I call you out your name, that's disrespectful. If you don't like it, there's a way to say, "Hey, I don't like that. That's disrespectful," or "This is not how I want to be talked to." And I have to, as a person, I have to respect that. Or if I don't respect it, deal with the consequences of, "Hey, this ain't gonna work out." I think when we start bringing other people into it, like I said, there's the comparisons, but also when we talk about PTSD or what they've dealt with in the past, I feel like that's their individual thing to learn how to deal with, right? Because you can't jump into this new relationship and expect them to save you from your past relationships. And that's why I say you shouldn't even bring up exes or what they used to do or any of this, because it's not their job to save you from this past relationship or to not do all of the stuff that they did, right? Their job is to be them. Either you're compatible and it works, or you're not. But their job is to be them, your job is to be you.
I think that's two different things.
If you've done the work, then there's a way to, and when I say the work, if you've dealt with relationships where there was anything abuse, anything like that, there's going to be some type of PTSD or some type of triggers, right? Go to therapy. Deal with that before you get into your next relationship. Because when you get into your next relationship, they're human. There's going to be flaws, and they're going to do things that remind you. They're going to do something at some point that reminds you of a previous person.
Yeah, but you're saying it as if I'm saying they're using it as a weapon. That's what I'm saying. You're not using it as a weapon. It's a point of relevance. Just because I said so and so did this to me in a previous relationship, I'm not bringing them into the relationship, because I'm not saying that you're that person. I'm just saying, let's chill out on it. Yes, it is your responsibility to take care of that, but that's not how life works. You already dealt with it. You're just saying, "Hey, that's just not something that's cool." That doesn't mean you're not dealing with it or that you didn't try to figure something out or get there. It's just saying, before we get here and go there, we just gonna nip that in the bud right then and there. It shouldn't be no continuance on the fact that I said, "Hey, my previous girlfriend put our ball their fist up at me or whatever. Yes, we are humans and we are people who are going to do things that's similar to other folks, but on the same token, I don't believe that it's entirely wrong to mention that. That's just a point of maturity in me saying it. I could just not say it, but also I want to say it so that you know. Now, if I keep saying it for every single thing that you do, that's different. If I can keep using it as a comparison, that's different. But if I'm just telling you that one time and it's a one-off, cool, because now you know. So now that you know, it doesn't mean I heal from it. It just means you know, hey, you know, that's not a cool thing to do. You know, I shouldn't be pointing my finger at nobody anyway. So, you know, he said that. I understand. I get it.
But what's the difference between saying my ex-girlfriend used to ball up her fist at me and I don't like that, or hey, I don't really like when you ball up your fist at me. It makes me feel like you're going to try to hit me, and that's going to put us in a really weird situation.
You just going deeper when you sit saying the root cause of it. When you're just not saying the other part, you just removing the person before from it. So you don't have to say it, but if you say it, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's a problem if you continue to do it. I could say that right now, and that don't mean that that person is involved in our relationship because I said it to you.
Yeah, and I'm not saying
it doesn't
that it's
mean
a problem.
that I'm thinking about them. It's just saying, oh, dang, you know what? That's not the coolest thing for you to be doing is to be, you know, acting like that or doing that particular thing. And even though I could just say it, it's more of like a sympathetic thing. So when you talk about conversations or arguments and debates, that's the thing that I'm going to say to get you to be more sympathetic towards my cause is that, hey, I lost my dog to blah, blah, blah. So, you know, be careful when you let your dog eat this, blah, 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 because my dog passed away from that. So now in my argument to get you to agree or understand where I'm coming from, I gave you something to be sympathetic towards. That's what I'm saying. So it's not that's the difference between the two is that I'm just giving you a point. So I could just say, hey, I don't like it that you walk around the room fast and you don't look at me whenever we having a conversation and it's getting a little heated. Sit down and talk to me.
Okay, and that's a good way to say it. But what happens when you go, I don't like when you walk around the room fast like that. My ex-girlfriend used to do that, and that just bothers me.
If the other person gets offended, then, like you said, as adults and as mature people, they should be able to say, I'm not that person, but I will try not to pace around the room because it bothers you.
Yeah, but then what you know what else happens? And we talk about being mature people, but what else happens is they go, oh, what I did just reminded them of their ex? Why they sitting here still thinking of their ex?
So you expect me to be mature, but you can't be mature because I told you something made me uncomfortable.
I mean, it's just natural though.
Exactly. So you can't expect nobody to fully understand.
No, I mean to have that reaction, because what happens if and let's just you and your wife was dating, and let's just say y'all 6 months into it, right? And you come up behind her and you hug her from behind. And she don't like it because she don't know who's hugging her. So the root of it is, I don't know who's sneaking up behind me and grabbing me. That bothers me. But she goes, oh, I don't like that. Brandon used to do that, and I don't like when you do that. You going to be like, hold on.
Then it's up to me to decide then and there if I'm going to be petty and react in a childish way. Or I'm going to be like, shoot.
Which is going to cause an argument. Right?
It can, but that's not a reason not to address why something made you uncomfortable.
Okay, but you can address the root where she can say, hey, I don't like that. That's uncomfortable. Or, hey, I don't like that because I don't know who's hugging me when you're doing that. So can you not do that? Or can you at least call my name first and let me know you're coming up behind me or something? Right? And so my thing is, I feel like a lot of people, when they bring up their exes, they're doing a comparison of ex and current, when really it should be your current actions compared to the root cause of why I don't like what was done. And in a lot of situations, I feel like it comes off more as a comparison. So I personally don't think you should be bringing up exes at all.
Well, we will have to agree to
with
disagree.
The caveat, with one caveat. The only caveat is if that ex passed away during their time together. Because in a lot of those situations, they never like grief doesn't go away.
It doesn't, but I don't. That's not an excuse for me.
I think that would be the only time where I'm like, okay, I understand that you were still in love with this person when this happened, and that was a choice that wasn't yours, and it was taken away from you. If you need moments where you need to go grieve still, that's fine.
I don't have that caveat. Because you could be with somebody for years and have that same sentiment and separating from somebody after you've been with them for years and then going to be with somebody and someone does something like that. Like I said, as long as you're not spamming it and you say it, I don't think it's a problem.
All right. Well, y'all let us know what y'all think. Comment, follow us on social media. Let us know your thoughts on this. You can find us at Before We Forget the Podcast. And we will catch y'all on the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.